Well, earlier I spoke with Steve LeVine. He is a writer, journalist, and blogger. He's currently the Washington Correspondent for Quartz. That's a digital business news outfit started up by the Atlantic company. He addressed just what China is hoping to accomplish with this Silk Road plan.
Well, the objective generally of having a Silk Road, remember they're competing concepts. The United States would like to establish a Silk Road from Afghanistan west, and China has come in with a competing model. And very, very simple to connect countries that fit together linearly with trade, to move your stuff across boundaries.
Is part of this too trying for the Chinese to get off some of the Russian transportation that they have to use to get to Europe, which is an enormous trading partner for China?
Yeah, I think that to the degree that China works with the countries along the road, including Russia, it's going to be a success. If it attempts to resist and entrench a hostile nature to the route, it will fail.
Talking about Russia, Russia has its own model, the Eurasian Union. Does that stand in competition to the Chinese model of this Silk Road economic belt?
I think it would. I mean, the idea, Russia's model, it's competing with U.S. model, NATO, Eurasia Union. It's competing with the Chinese model on the other side. Its economy is struggling. It would like to entrench a growth model, GDP model, and that's it. And so this is where China would have a big upside by finding alignment with Russia. Just tell Putin it's to your upside to go along with us.
So part of this Silk Road by the Chinese goes through some fairly treacherous territory, parts of Afghanistan, parts of Iran, including Crimea, which of course has recently experienced a lot of unrest. What do you think the impact of the recent Ukrainian unrest is going to have on this idea by the Chinese?
I think it won't have any impact, and I'll tell you why. The upside that China brings to the whole route, including Afghanistan, is its appetite for risk, its neutrality in terms of not seeking a political outcome in the countries where it goes to, and its willingness to upfront the money before there being infrastructure in the ground. So I really think, for example, in Afghanistan, you could say that to the degree that China puts down more increasing economic infrastructure and investment, Afghanistan has a much better chance of becoming a stable and peaceful place. And in Crimea, there's just no downside. There's no downside, and I don't think it's an obstacle for the proposed Silk Route.
So the Chinese are essentially proposing two different types of Silk Road routes. There's the land one and the maritime one. Which is more important?
The maritime route. The reasons are that, first of all, the land route is long. It crosses a lot of borders. Some of the borders, as you've stated, go through turbulent areas. Maritime route, completely open. It's in China's region. It would like to own that region, the economies, to the degree that it entrenches itself more than it already is. It strengthens its economy, its trade, its GDP figures, and so on. And it would like to go from that strength to another strength, meaning going broader. So it shifts from having a navy that operates locally, essentially, to operating more broadly.
So essentially, you're saying the maritime could be more important also because it goes through so many more economies.
Well, not just so many economies, but the type of economies. Who's it going through in Central Asia and then Russia? These are countries that have been independent for 20 years already and still have not managed to make the jump that China has, very, very, very quickly, and with no sign that they're going to. Whereas from China across the sea, it's going immediately to booming economies that have a record, decades-long record of doing very, very well, especially ASEAN. Yeah.
India, even the Middle East.
Japan, and on to the Middle East. And it's establishing relations. It has been and ongoing relations with East Africa as well.